Bob loved sandwiches. Not just loved. He dreamed of sandwiches, dreamt of mustard and mayonnaise rivers flowing through lands of rye and sourdough. His apartment was a shrine to the art of sandwich making. Every cupboard, every drawer crammed with ingredients. Pickles, peppers, pastrami, you name it, Bob had it. His fridge, a testament to his dedication, was a layered masterpiece of cold cuts, cheeses, and condiments. His friends called him the Sandwich Whisperer. He could craft a culinary delight out of anything. Leftover pizza, sandwich, stale crackers, sandwich. Once, he even made a sandwich out of other sandwiches. It was a sandwich inception. Bob's sandwich artistry wasn't just about piling ingredients high. It was about balance, flavor, the perfect bread-to-filling ratio. He considered sandwich making a delicate art form, each bite a symphony of textures and tastes. He believed a good sandwich could solve any problem. A broken heart, a tuna melt, a bad day at work, a triple-decker club. He even tried to mediate arguments with a peacemaker panini. It almost worked. Bob spent hours experimenting with new combinations. He'd meticulously document his creations in a worn notebook. He had a sandwich for every occasion, every mood. He even had a rainy day Reuben and a sunshine sub. His greatest ambition? To share his sandwich genius with the world. One day, scrolling through the internet, Bob stumbled upon an ad. It was for the annual Sandwich Showdown, a prestigious competition for sandwich aficionados. The winner would be crowned the Sandwich Sovereign. Bob knew this was his chance. This was his destiny. This was his moment to shine. He could finally unleash his sandwich wizardry upon the unsuspecting masses. The Sandwich Showdown was legendary, a gathering of the greatest sandwich minds in the country. Held in the heart of Sandwichville, yes, a real place, it was a spectacle of bread, meat, and culinary creativity. The grand prize? A golden sandwich trophy, a year's supply of mayonnaise, and the coveted title of Sandwich Sovereign. The competition was fierce. Past winners had created sandwiches that defied gravity, logic, and sometimes good taste. There was the Volcano Vesuvius sandwich, which erupted with spicy chili sauce. The Great Wall of Sandwich, a foot-long behemoth filled with every imaginable meat. Bob knew he had to bring his A-game. He had to create something truly special, something that would blow the judges' minds and taste buds away. Bob spent weeks researching the competition. He studied past winners, analyzed trends, and scoured culinary journals. He wanted to understand the judges' preferences, their biases, their deepest sandwich desires. He even hired a private investigator to find out what the lead judge ate for lunch every day. It was always a ham and cheese, surprisingly. He knew he couldn't just make any old sandwich. This had to be his magnum opus, a sandwich that would transcend the very definition of sandwich. It had to be innovative, delicious, and slightly chaotic, just like Bob himself. He began sketching designs, experimenting with flavors, and testing different bread combinations. He locked himself in his apartment for days, emerging only for essential sandwich supplies. His neighbors complained about the constant smell of deli meats emanating from his apartment. Bob called his creation the Mega Muncher. It was a towering monstrosity of sandwich perfection. 3 layers of toasted sourdough bread, each slathered with a different artisanal spread. The first layer, a tangy cranberry mustard. The second, a creamy horseradish sauce. The third, a spicy chipotle mayo. He piled high layers of slow-roasted turkey, smoked ham, and peppered salami. He added crisp lettuce, juicy tomatoes, and tangy pickles. He then sprinkled a generous helping of his secret ingredient, crispy fried onions. The Mega Muncher was not for the faint of heart. It was a challenge, an adventure, a sandwich odyssey. Bob practiced making the Mega Muncher over and over. He timed himself, tweaked the recipe, and even conducted taste tests with his friends. He wanted every element to be perfect. The bread had to be toasted to a golden brown. The meat had to be sliced thin, but not too thin. The cheese had to be melted just right. He even designed a special carrying case for the Mega Muncher, a reinforced cardboard box with custom-cut foam inserts to protect its structural integrity. He wasn't taking any chances. This sandwich was his ticket to glory. He envisioned the judges' faces, their jaws dropping in awe as he presented his masterpiece. He could almost taste the sweet victory of being crowned the Sandwich Sovereign. Section 4, Showdown Day. The day of the Sandwich Showdown arrived. Bob woke up with a mixture of excitement and nerves. He dressed in his finest sandwich-themed attire, a tie-dye shirt with a pickle pattern and a chef's hat adorned with sandwich pins. He carefully packed the Mega Muncher into its carrying case, securing it with multiple layers of bubble wrap. He kissed his pet hamster, Mr. Fluffernutter, goodbye and headed out the door. The competition was held in a large convention center, buzzing with sandwich enthusiasts. The air was thick with the aroma of freshly baked bread, sizzling meats, and exotic cheeses. Bob took a deep breath, trying to calm his nerves. He surveyed the competition. There was a woman sculpting a sandwich in the shape of the Eiffel Tower, a man juggling baguettes while simultaneously assembling a sub. Bob knew he had his work cut out for him. He found his designated station, a small table with a cutting board and a few basic utensils. He carefully unpacked the Mega Muncher, placing it on the table with reverence. He took a step back to admire his creation. It was a thing of beauty, a testament to his sandwich-making prowess. He glanced at the clock. The competition was about to begin. He took a deep breath, adjusted his chef's hat, and waited for the signal. The announcer's voice boomed over the loudspeaker, introducing the judges and explaining the rules. Bob's heart pounded in his chest. This was it, his moment to shine. Section 5, Squirrel Mayhem. The competition began. Sandwiches of all shapes and sizes were being assembled, sculpted, and even deep-fried. Bob began carefully slicing the Mega Muncher into manageable portions, ready to present to the judges. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a squirrel darted onto the stage. The squirrel, clearly a connoisseur of fine sandwiches, made a beeline for Bob's station. It leaped onto the table, its eyes fixated on the Mega Muncher. Before Bob could react, the squirrel sunk its teeth into the sandwich, tearing off a large chunk. Chaos erupted. The crowd gasped. The judges stared in disbelief. Bob, in a moment of panic, tried to swat the squirrel away with a spatula. The squirrel, startled, leaped onto the judges' table, scattering plates and napkins. The Mega Muncher, now missing a significant portion, began to tilt precariously. Bob lunged forward, trying to save his masterpiece, but it was too late. The Mega Muncher toppled over, landing in a heap on the floor. The squirrel, seemingly pleased with its handiwork, scurried away, leaving a trail of sandwich crumbs in its wake. The scene was one of utter pandemonium. Sandwiches were rolling across the floor. Judges were dodging flying ingredients. The crowd was roaring with laughter. Bob stood amidst the chaos, covered in mayonnaise and despair. His dream of becoming the sandwich sovereign seemed to be crumbling before his eyes. Section 6. Aftermath and Acclaim. The dust settled. The judges, still slightly bewildered, surveyed the scene. The other contestants looked on with a mixture of pity and amusement. Bob, dejected, began to clean up the remnants of his fallen Mega Muncher. Then, something unexpected happened. The lead judge, a stern-looking woman with a monocle, approached Bob. She smiled, a twinkle in her eye. That, she declared, was the most entertaining sandwich-related incident I have ever witnessed. The crowd erupted in applause. The other judges nodded in agreement. They had never seen anything like it. They admired Bob's creativity, his passion, and his ability to create such unintentional chaos. The judges, impressed by Bob's spirit and the sheer audacity of the Mega Muncher, awarded him a special title, the Sandwich King of Chaos. It wasn't the title he had hoped for, but it was a title nonetheless. The crowd cheered. Bob, still slightly shell-shocked, accepted his new crown, a plastic tiara adorned with miniature sandwiches. Bob, despite the chaotic turn of events, found himself surprisingly upbeat. He had not won the Sandwich Sovereign title, but he had won the hearts of the crowd. He had brought laughter and joy to the Sandwich Showdown, something no other contestant had managed to do. He realized that sometimes the greatest victories come in the most unexpected forms. He even started to see the humor in the situation, picturing the squirrel's mischievous grin as it scampered away with a mouthful of Mega Muncher.